What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and today we're going to be back for another WoW BFA video. Now, I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen the last video I actually uploaded on this topic, but we're going to be jumping into the allied races again. Now, the reason for this is the last video I actually dropped on how to unlock the allied races in BFA got quite a lot of views, got quite a lot of feedback, but it did receive a little bit of negative feedback because I didn't actually mention some of the races. There was like one or two races which I didn't really fully go in depth with, and I didn't mention the Kul Tiran humans. Now, a lot of people obviously would get annoyed about this because the guide wasn't 100% complete. I'm going to explain why I actually didn't do that, and also I'm going to be explaining what the current stance is on these races. So first of all, the reason I actually didn't cover these races originally is actually because there's not actually much information on how to unlock them. But luckily for everyone else, the Magheart Orcs are actually available now, so a few more races have been available to actually be used. So there's some more stuff you can unlock since I made that guide, but the reason I didn't cover the Kultirans is currently I'm pretty sure you can't actually make them. Now, there's going to be more information on this at the end of the expansion, and all we know is there's going to be some sort of epic scenario to unlock them. But a lot of people were kind of annoyed that I just didn't cover them in the video in general. The reason I didn't do this is because you can't physically unlock them, so I didn't want to make a false promise to someone watching the video that you could actually unlock them still, because there's really scarce information currently available on how to actually unlock them. But because people got annoyed, I'm still going to mention them. Now, the Kultirans are basically a new allied race. They're basically just humans, but they look slightly different. They look a little bit pudgier or a bit more blocky in regards to their appearance. And you unlock them in BFA, and basically they have different classes, racial abilities, and passives in comparison to the normal human race. So far, all I can really tell you is that you're going to have BFA purchased to unlock them, which is obviously a given. And also, the specific details are currently unknown, because I'm pretty sure Kultirans are like one of the only races that you can't actually play just yet. But they will have an unlocked scenario which is required to be completed to actually play them. Now, this will obviously involve a 120 experience in Kul Tiran. That is going to be based in Kul Tiran, and obviously there's already world quests available to do, so I would get everything done. And obviously with the other allied races, we've needed a certain reputation with certain factions to unlock them. So what would be beneficial is just to do all the world quests and do all the reputations and try and get them to max level now, just in case they're required to actually unlock the race. So, what classes can they actually play as? Now, obviously, people are aware of the main class they can play as because of the original advertisement and media, but they can actually play as certain other classes as well. So, currently, I'm pretty sure the classes they can play as are not confirmed fully, but I would presume they would be able to play as nearly everything as the humans. But what's really cool as well is obviously humans can't be druids, but apparently the Kul Tiran human race can actually play as druid, which is really interesting. You can have brand new druid forms, you're going to be able to play tank, healer, melee, or ranged leather DPS on druids, which is really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to that. Unfortunately though, I am playing the Horde because I do really like the Horde, and obviously the Zandalari look absolutely awesome. I want to make druids with them because they have equally cool druid forms. Both these races kind of mirror each other because they've got brand new forms available, but they can be druids and they actually draw upon the magic from the Drust. This is the lore behind it, and Ulfar, the last of the Dustthorn speakers, teaches the inhabitants of Kul Tiran who wish to learn the ancient ways how to be a druid. So Drust magic is obviously death magic, or if you didn't know that, basically it's death magic in the lore. And he explains that life and death are parts of the different cycles of nature, and basically you go through a sort of quest line to learn how to be a druid with the lore. So that's really interesting stuff right there. They have brand new druid forms which look absolutely awesome. I'm going to put those on the screen for you guys. So first of all, we do have the bear form. There's a few different colours to these forms, obviously just like other druid races. Mainly they will probably be based on how your character looks. So for example, with the Worgen, depending on which skin colour your Worgen is, you will have a different druid form, and that also goes the same for the Worgen. If you have a different appearance on a human, it will also make the Worgen look different. So it's kind of like that in regards to the colours. There is kind of like a browny earthy colour with grey, which I'm going to pop up now, and then there's also a kind of grey, more darker colour scheme as well, and then there's like a green oak looking kind of tree druid form, which is really interesting. And then also we have this weird like yellowy light grey appearance. So there's a lot of different forms which are nice. I'm basically just going to go through the forms in the cat form, and then I'm just going to put the pictures up. So I'm just going to explain them first, and I will put the pictures the following pictures above on the screen. So the cat form is obviously the same. We have different forms. They're basically following the same colour scheme and house style of the actual bear form. So I'm not sure if, like I said before, this is based on your character's appearance, but basically they have so many different colours. They do have the similar colours in regards to the bear form, but there is one more here which wasn't in the bear form when I was looking at the pictures, and that's kind of like a dark blue and brown one, which is really cool. What's really interesting about these forms is they actually look like trees. So obviously the Kultirans are kind of like the Wicker Men, like you can tell they're kind of based on like the pagan culture and the pagan gods and things like that, so they kind of have that sort of style to them, which is all about like nature and trees. So obviously you can understand why they would be available to be druids, but it's absolutely awesome we're gonna actually get this content, which is really nice. But not only do they actually have these forms, they also have a travel form. So this is very similar to the travel form which we get on things like Troll Druid. Obviously there's Troll Druid here in the game. He's in the cat form, just to show you an example, but he's also in travel form there. So that's what the travel form looks like on Troll Druids. It's pretty similar in regards to Kul Tiran Druids. I'm going to show you the pictures on the screen. Like I said before, there's many different colour schemes. There's probably around 4. There's like a green one, a light grey one, a brown one, and a really dark colour scheme. So there's about 4 different travel forms. Then there's also aquatic skins, or aquatic form, because obviously you've got to have all the forms that the other druid races support, and one of those is obviously the aquatic form. We have many different colour schemes on here. We have, I think, 4 again, so we're following kind of like a 4 to 5 sets of colours on each of these forms. And then we also have the Druid Flying form. Now I think the Flying form for the Druids on the Kultirans are actually really awesome. They kind of look like weird wooden feathered birds. Everything's very tree based, everything's very sort of like Mother Nature based, which is quite interesting. But there's 4 different forms on the Flying form, and that's basically all the Druid forms. Now I'm just going to put some pictures on screen now as well of what the race actually looks like, because there's quite a few different customization options. They do actually look really awesome. You can have different like scars on the eyes, you can have different hairstyles, you can have different colours of hair and weird facial expressions and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff to unlock and a lot of stuff available. So next I'm actually going to be talking about the Zandalari. So this video is obviously to cover the things I missed out the first video because people were quite frustrated with that. The next thing is Zandalari. Now I did actually cover this in the first part, but I just want to touch on it a little bit more because people were a little bit frustrated that I didn't show any of the forms or go in depth with the druid and what the race offers. So obviously if you want to look at how to unlock all these races, I do have a part 1 to this video. I'll put it at the end of this video, so when you reach the last 20 seconds and the recommended video comes up, I'll make sure it's the part 1 of the guide, so you can go click back and look at that. I'll also put the link in the description as well, so if you want to check out the first video which shows you how to unlock everything, then please check that out. I'll kind of roughly go over how to unlock the Zandalari like I did with the Kultirans, but if you want all the other races like Void Elf and things like that, they'll be available in that part. So the next thing is actually the Zandalari Trolls, like I mentioned before. I'm not sure if these are available right now because there's been a few reports that people have seen some people playing as them, but I'm pretty sure that's false, misleading information because I haven't seen literally anyone playing as Zandalari yet, so I don't think they're available. I'm pretty sure there's not real concrete information on how to unlock them, but similarly, in terms of Kultirans, it's going to be a Zandalari experience in BFA. You'll need the expansion and we'll be following an unlock scenario like the Kultiran race. And there's not much information on this so far, so I would presume maybe after Uldir as the raid, which is coming in September, maybe in one of the patches coming soon, we will be able to unlock these, but we're not quite sure just yet. One thing is though, is we do know now that to roll a Zandalari you're going to need a 110 character. I'm not sure if this is the same as the Kultirans, but basically you're going to need a 110 character. The reason for this is actually the fact that I'm pretty sure they're going to start a 110, or they're going to start like a really high level so you can jump straight into the action. So you are going to have a 110 unlocked to actually unlock these guys and be able to play them. So now that we've actually got the unlock situation out of the way and the requirements, I'm going to go on to the classes they actually support. So they actually support druids for a start. We'll be moving on to the druid forms in a little while and I'll be showing you some pictures like I did before. Then also you can be hunters, which is melee or ranged. Obviously you guys know the classes, so I'm not going to really go in depth with the classes. But you can be a mage, priest, a rogue. Rogue's quite interesting. And you can be a shaman, warlock or a warrior. So there's a lot of classes there in regards to what you can be, mostly the same as normal trolls, which would make sense in the lore, but really interesting stuff there. They have their own shaman totems which are quite interesting, kind of like a tribal house style. I'll put a picture here for you guys on the screen. There's kind of like green, orange, blue and light blue styles to that, which is quite nice. Then moving on to the druid forms, we actually have a few different forms, obviously. So we have cat forms. There's a few different colours in here, like literally in the Kul Tirans. There's 4 different colours we're going to have for each form. So there's a light blue, a dark blue, a green and a dark style, and that's going to match all the different forms as well. Now these kind of look like weird kind of lizard dinosaur dogs, which is really cool. So it's kind of like a dinosaur hound looking thing, which is really nice. And like I said, this supports the kind of lore terms of things and the geography of everything, because Zandalar is basically a place where you're going to find a lot of different dinosaurs, be that raptors, pterosaurs, devilsaurs and different things like that, so it's going to make sense. Then we also have the Moonkin form. Now this kind of does look like half a pterosaur kind of thing. We have seen this model before, or a model very similar to it. Obviously I'm going to put it on the screen now, but we have seen this before. Most of these things are inspired obviously by Zandalari, because the Zandalari Trolls and the sort of culture, so you will have seen similar things in the Pandaria patch for the Isle of Thunder where the Zandalari were as well, so very similar things in regards to that. The bear form is kind of like a really tanky dinosaur skin, so it's like a dinosaur with horns on the back, kind of like a lot of the tortoises we see in game, but it's a dinosaur with big spikes. And yet again, like I said, with all these we're going to have 4 different colours, so I'm going to just put those on the screen for you guys to see. We have a dark skin, a light blue skin, a green skin and a grey skin. Then there's also 2 different forms we have left. We have the flying form and the travel form. Now I haven't covered the aquatic form because when I was doing research I couldn't yet find any information or models on the aquatic form, so I couldn't find any reliable pictures what the aquatic form is going to look like. But basically we have the pterodax form, so this is just a basic pterosaur. You can get mounts for a pterosaur, so basically you're just going to have the same model as the new pterosaur mounts, but it's just going to be a little bit different. And then also the travel form is called the Saber-tusk form. So this is obviously a Ravasaur, which is basically a raptor. It's going to have big tusks on the front and a saddle, so I would presume like some of the travel forms you're going to be able to carry someone on the back of this as well. So really interesting stuff there, guys. If you like this video, drop a like on the video and leave a comment below, let me know. Also leave suggestions for guides on what you want me to do. Now I'm not only doing WoW videos, I'm just doing quite a few of them right now because it's really popular and I do want to cover a lot of the different things and the content available for everybody, because they do seem to be very helpful to some people. This video was mainly just to cover the last 2 races that I didn't really go in depth on, and just explore the race and their forms, and also give basic unlock requirements for them, because a lot of people were dissatisfied with the first video part I did when I missed out some of this information. So thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see daily WoW videos, gaming videos and facts, then definitely do subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.
Damn, son.
Tell a sack up, punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and yet a whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, then jump across the ceiling. Muggs is a funk fest, someone's talking junk, yo, I'll bust them in the eye.